समारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। श्लोक 21. We will start from the second half. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Senayorubhayormadhye.
Senayorubhayormadhye.
Ratham sthapayamechyuta.
Ratham sthapayamechyuta.
Yavadetan niriksheham.
Yavadetan niriksheham.
Yodhukamanavasthitan.
Yodhukamanavasthitan.
Kairmaya sahayodhavyam.
Kairmaya sahayodhavyam.
Asmin ranasamudyame.
Asmin ranasamudyame.
Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna said to Krishna. Now Krishna is Parthasarathi. Krishna is playing the role of Arjuna's Sarathi. Therefore he is called Parthasarathi. And Arjuna is Rathi. Rathi means one who travels in the Ratha. The main traveler in the Ratha is called Rathi. One who drives the chariot is called Sarathi. So Arjuna is Rathi and Krishna is Sarathi. Sarathi is Rathi's assistant. Sarathi has to drive where the Rathi tells him. That is why Arjuna is telling Bhagavan, Parthasarathi, where he should go, where he should lead the chariot. Senayorubhayormadhye ratham sthapayamechyuta. He Achyuta, न विद्यते च्युतम यस्य सहा अच्युतः. One who does not have downfall. च्युतम is fall. He doesn't have any downfall. Free from imperfection. Free from samsara. Therefore Achyutaha. He Achyuta, O Achyuta, Ubhayoho Senayoho Madhye, between two armies, Me Ratham Sthapaya, please park my chariot. Sthapaya, place, park. Place my chariot between two armies. Yavadetan niriksheham yodhukaman avasthitan. So how long should you park there? Yavat, until which time? एतान अवस्थितान योद्धुकामान अहम अवेक्षे निरीक्षे. I want to see the people who are here with the desire to fight. Yavat, until etan, these avasthitan yoddhukaman, avasthitan, who are standing here, yoddhukaman, the ones who are desirous of fighting. Nirikshe, I see. So he wanted to see them for a while. Look at them for a while. Until then, please park my chariot in the middle of two armies. Kairmaya sahayodhavyam asmin ranasamudyame. So why he wanted to see the people who are going to fight? Kaihi maya yodhavyam. Kaihi maya saha yodhavyam asmin ranasamudyame. By who? Maya saha, with me. Yodhavyam should fight. Who should fight with me? Sorry. Maya kaihi saha yodhavyam. By me, yodhavyam. I should fight. Kaihi saha, with who? With who I should fight? Asmin ranasamudyame. In this effort of war. In this exercise of war. Who should I fight with? I want to see them. So that he can have an idea who he should fight first and then who he will fight. Yotsyamanaveeksheham ya etetra samagataha dhartarashtrasya durbuddhehe युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षवः ये एते अत्र समागताः, the ones who have come here and assembled in the battlefield. Yotsyamana, those who are going to fight. Tan aham avekshe, let me see them. Dhartarashtrasya durbuddhehe yuddhe priyachikirshava, and the ones who are ready to fight, they are not fighting for themselves in the army of Dhartarashtras, in the army of Duryodhana. Many have assembled to fight. Bhishma, Drona, and so many other kings have joined them. None of them are fighting for their own sake, because they don't have any enmity with the Pandavas. They are all basically the well-wishers of Pandavas and the friends of Pandavas. Still, they are ready to fight against the Pandavas. Why is it so? Because they want to please Duryodhana. Yuddhe durbuddheha dhartarashtrasya priyachikirshava. Yuddhe, in the battle, dhartarashtrasya. Dhartarashtra means Dhritarashtrasya apatyam Kumar, son of Dhritarashtra. Duryodhana. And he is a durbuddhi. He doesn't have a proper working buddhi. A spoiled buddhi. That is why, in spite of all efforts, everybody suggested him. Everybody tried to educate him against going for the battle. You don't have to give up the whole kingdom. Just give 5 villages to the Pandavas. That was what the Pandavas asked ultimately. Just give 5 villages and they will be happy with it. Keep the entire kingdom for yourself. Then we can live in peace. Then Duryodhana says, I won't give even a little bit of land. Even land of the area of the point of a needle. I won't leave it for the Pandavas. Therefore, he is a durbuddhi. No wisdom. Cannot think properly. Therefore, he is choosing his own destruction. Dhartarashtrasya durbuddhe priyachikirshavaha. They want to please Dhartarashtra. That is why they have joined his army. In spite of not having any enmity with the Pandavas. Sanjaya uvacha.
Sanjaya uvacha.
Eva mukto hrishikeshaha.
Eva mukto hrishikeshaha.
Gudakeshena bharata.
Gudakeshena bharata.
Senayorubhayor madhye.
Senayorubhayor madhye.
Sthapayitva rathottamam.
Sthapayitva rathottamam.
Bhishma drona pramukhatah.
Bhishma drona pramukhatah.
Sarveshān ca mahīkshitāṃ.
Sarveshān ca mahīkshitāṃ.
Uvaca partha pasyaitān.
Uvaca partha pasyaitān.
Samavetān kuruniti.
Samavetān kuruniti.
Sanjaya uvaca. Again, the focus is back to studio. Hastinapura. From Hastinapura, we focused to Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra appeared on the screen when Arjuna Uvacha and Bhagavan Uvacha came. Now back to Hastinapura. Sanjaya. So, Sanjaya uvacha. Evamukto Hrishikesho Gudakeshena Bharata. Hey Bharata. Sanjaya is addressing Dhritarashtra. Even Dhritarashtra is Bharata because he is the descendant of Bharata, the king Bharata. And later on, Arjuna will be called Bharata because even Arjuna is a descendant of Bharata. He Bharata. Gudakeshena eva muktaha Hrishikesha. Gudakeshena. Who is Gudakesha? Arjuna. Why he is called Gudakesha? Gudakayaha Isha. He is a lord of sleep. Gudaka means sleep. He has a mastery over his sleep. He can wake up when he decides. And he doesn't go to sleep in the classroom. Gudakayaha Isha. He has self-control, mastery over himself. Hrishikesha is Krishna. Hrishikaanam Indriyanam Ishaha Hrishikesha. Hrishika means Indriya, senses. Lord of senses. Eva Muktaha. Hrishikesha. Eva Muktaha. Hrishikesha was instructed so by Gudakesha, by Arjuna. Then he followed Arjuna's instruction. Senayor uphayor madhye sthapayitva rathottamam. Senayoh ubhayoh madhye. Ubhayoh senayoh madhye. Between both the armies. Rathottamam sthapayitva. He placed his chariot. Rathottamam. It is best among the chariots. Ratheshu uttamam. Uttama. Rathottama. It is best among the chariots. Because Arjuna received his ratha from fire. Agni. When he burned the Khandava one. There is a story. When the fire, Agni gives him ratha. Bhishma Drona Pramukhataha. So where did he place his chariot? Sarvesham Mahikshitam Purata. In front of all the kings. Mainly in front of Bhishma and Drona. Bhishma Drona Pramukhataha. And then he tells Arjuna, after leading the chariot to a place in between two armies, stopping the chariot there, he tells Arjuna, Uvacha, who Uvacha? Hrishikesha Uvacha. Krishna said. Now this is Krishna's words. Partha Pashyaitan Samavetan Kurun. That much is quote. Hey Partha, O Arjuna, Etan Samavetan Kurun Pashya. Bhāshya, please look at. Who? Etan samavetan kurun. These kurus. Kuru means all the Kauravas. And both sides are Kurus because they are all the descendants of Kuru clan, Kuru Vamsha. Both the Pandavas as well as the Dhartarashtras. Etan samavetan kurun Bhāshya. Please look at them. The Kurus who have assembled in the battlefield. Tatra pashyat sthitan parthaha.
Tatra pashyat sthitan parthaha.
Pitrunatha pitamahan.
Pitrunatha pitamahan.
Acharyan matulan bhratrin.
Acharyan matulan bhratrin.
Putran pautran sakhistatha.
Putran pautran sakhistatha.
See, when you chant Pitrunatha pitamahan, don't stress the r. Pitrun, don't say pitru. When you say pitru, you are doubling the ta. Ta should not be doubled. When another consonant doesn't follow, ta should not be doubled. Ta or any consonant should not be doubled. See, Pitrun, I'll explain this later. Pitrunatha pitamahan.
Pitrunatha pitamahan.
Acharyan matulan bhratrin.
Acharyan matulan bhratrin.
Putran pautran sakhistatha.
Putran pautran sakhistatha.
Tatra. So there, in the battlefield, in the two armies, Partha, Arjuna, Tatra sthitam, those who were present there, Apashyat, he saw. Who were all there? Pitrun, fathers. Fathers means those who belong to his father's generation, equivalent to his father. Arjuna's father is not there, but they were his people who were as respectable as his own fathers, his own father. Atha pitamahan, and grandfathers who were like his grandfathers. And Acharyan, his teachers, Dronacharya and Kripacharya, and maybe other teachers also. We don't know. So Acharya, plural. Matulan, uncles, maternal uncles. Bhratrin, brothers. Putran, sons. And Pautran, grandsons. Sakhins tatha, and also friends. Shvashuran, fathers-in-law, Suhridaschaiva, and Suhrits, many other well-wishers. Ubhayoho api senayoho apashyat. He saw them in both armies. Both armies were filled with his near and dear ones, his relatives, close relatives, as well as friends. They were not strangers. They were his own people, Swajana. All were Swajana. Swajana means one's own people, his own relatives, blood relatives. Tan samikshya sa kaunteyaha Sarvan bandhun avasthitan Kripaya paraya vishtaha Vishidan abravit. So, while seeing them, he got kripa, para-kripa, intense compassion. Compassion is generally considered good. But then there can be a misplaced compassion. A misplaced compassion is not desirable. For example, a surgeon, one who performs operations, and he has to perform surgery on a patient. When he goes to the operation theatre, the patient is lying there, already sedated, and all nurses and assistants are standing with the gloves and all the equipments in hand, and the operation is about to begin. And the operation is meant for saving the patient. For saving the patient, the surgeon has to amputate some part of the body. Let's say he has to amputate a hand or any undesirable growth, cancerous growth, tumor. He has to amputate. Then the doctor gets compassion. How can I cut with this sharp scalpel this poor patient's body? I will have to see him bleed. How can I cut? He gets compassion. I don't want to cause pain. The operation is painful. And then the surgeon refuses to operate. Is it a proper place for compassion? It is a misplaced compassion. A misplaced compassion doesn't do any good. there is a soldier and he is posted in Kashmir on the border, and the army of the other nation are attacking, they are infiltrating, and then this soldier is asked to shoot them. Shoot command. He is asked to shoot. Fire. He doesn't fire. Why are you not firing? He says, I have compassion. Poor soldiers, they will die. Then who will take care of their children? Who will take care of their wife, family? Poor Pakistani soldiers. I have compassion to them. Is it compassion? It is compassion, but it is a misplaced compassion. Wrong compassion. It may sound good. Oh, he is a very compassionate person. Some people may like it if he writes his biography. I came back from the army because I had lot of compassion. He can justify himself, and he can also get a fan following. But his compassion was at the cost of our national security, at the cost of our national interest. So this compassion of Arjuna is a misplaced compassion at wrong time. And it is because of two reasons. His compassion is not born of unconditional love. It is born of attachment. They are my people. How can I kill them? It is born of attachment and identification. It's not a product of true love, unconditional love. So it is a conditional compassion. And secondly, this compassion is tempting him to do adharma, is tempting him to forego his own dharma, compromise with his own dharma, his duty. Therefore, it is a compassion at a wrong place, a misplaced compassion. So here the compassion is not a desirable compassion. Paraya kripaya avishtaha, overpowered by intense compassion. And we have to understand misplaced compassion. Vishidan, with sorrow, with grief. Idam abravit. Arjuna said these words. Idam vachanam. These words, abravit. Arjuna uvacha Drishtvenam swajanam Krishna Yuyutsum samupasthitam Sidanti mama gatrani Mukhancha parishushyati Vepathuscha sharire me Romaharshascha jayate Arjuna uvacha. Arjuna said, Hey Krishna, O Krishna, Imam Swajanam Yuyutsum samupasthitam drashtva. Imam Swajanam drashtva. Seeing this Swajana, my own people, my relatives and my friends, Yuyutsum samupasthitam drashtva. They are present here as Yuyutsus, as the ones who are interested in fighting, who are intending to fight. Tam drishtva. Mama gatrani sidanti. Mama gatrani. My limbs. Sidanti. They are losing strength out of grief. I am not able to lift my hand also. Hands and legs are losing strength. Mukhancha parishushyati. My mouth is drying up. All these are symptoms of sorrow, intense grief. And vepathuscha sharire me. My body is shaking, shivering is felt in my body. Vepathu means trembling, shivering is felt in my body. Me sharire. Romaharshascha jayate. And my head is standing on end. Horripilation. Romaharsha. Sometimes it may happen because of joy also, but here it is out of grief. All these are symptoms of sorrow. Gandivam samsate hasta. Gandiva, the bow, samsate, it is slipping from my hand. He is feeling like dropping Gandiva. Gandiva is the name of his bow. Tvakchaiva paridahyate. My skin is burning. He is feeling a burning sensation on his skin. Nacha shaknom yavasthatum. I am not able to stand. Bhramati vacha me manaha. Me manaha. My manaha. My mind. Bhramati iva. It is as though rotating. According to some people, it is these are the indications of moha, delusion, confusion. He is not able to decide what to do. He has confusion regarding what is right and what is wrong at this moment. It is called moha. First of all, Shoka. Up to Gandivam, Nacha Shaknom Yavasthatu. Up to that, the symptoms of Shoka is mentioned. Symptoms of sorrow. Starting from Sidanti Mama Gatrani. Up to Nacha Shaknom Yavasthatu are the symptoms of Shoka. Now, symptoms of Moha. So, when there is a Shoka, there will be Moha. Shoka leads to Moha. Moha means the inability to decide what one should do in a given situation. Instead, he takes adharma for dharma. The wrong thing is taken for the right. It is more confusion, delusion. So now moha. Brahmativa cha me manaha. My mind is as though rotating out of confusion. Nimittani cha pashyami viparita. Nimittani cha pashyami.
Nimittani cha pashyami.
Viparitani keshava.
Viparitani keshava.
Na cha shreyo nu pashyami.
Na cha shreyo nu pashyami.
Hatva svajanamahave.
Hatva svajanamahave.
Nimittani cha pashyami. Viparitani keshava. He Keshava. Keshava is Krishna. Aham viparitani nimittani pashyami. I see many bad omen. Nimitta means omen. Certain indications which are bad. Like a black cat crosses. It is a bad omen. You are going to travel somewhere and you just exit the gate, start your journey, and then a black cat crosses in front of you, crosses the road. Then it is a bad one. So then he says, okay, I will not go, let me return. So there are many such bad ones. Vamanetra Spurana. You know, the left eye throbs. It is another bad one. Then the jackals, you know, they cry, howl. It is another bad one. So there is something called Shakuna Shastra. It is a Shastra in itself, like Jyotish Shastra, Samudrika Shastra. Samudrika Shastra means, physiognomy. Likewise, there is a Shakuna Shastra also. So there are books written on that. What are considered Shubha Shakuna, good omen, and what are bad omen. So it is a study in itself. After Vedanta, you can study. So, Viparitani nimittani pashyami. I see many bad omen. Viparita nimitta. So, these are indications of moha. So now he has already ended up in a delusion because of shoka. The mind is clouded. and the clouded mind cannot think clearly. That is why his understanding of right and wrong is shrouded. It is overpowered by confused thinking. That is moha. So because of moha, he is justifying his confusion. He is supposed to fight the war because it is right to do for him. It is his swadharma. For Arjuna, it is right to fight. It is proper to fight the battle because of many reasons. First of all, he is a Kshatriya. And a Kshatriya's duty is to fight a dharma yuddha, a battle which is righteous. And then the Dhartarashtras, Duryodhana, etc., they had perpetrated many forms of crimes, many forms of injustice against Pandavas. And the Pandavas have been tolerating for several years. In spite of that, they tried to avoid the war by all possible means. And finally, Duryodhana vehemently, adamantly chose war. He was reluctant to go for any form of compromise, any form of peacemaking. And they are criminals because they have perpetrated all forms of crimes and injustice. Therefore, from the standpoint of Pandavas, there is nothing wrong in fighting the Kauravas and destroying them. In addition to this reason, even from the standpoint of a greater good, it was proper to destroy the Kauravas in the battle. Because suppose the Pandavas had not gone for war and allowed the Kauravas, allowed the Dhartarashtras to rule the country, the major part of the country, what would have happened? Adharma would have prevailed in the country. Because Duryodhana and his people, they were champions of adharma. And if such people rule the country, only adharma will prevail in the country. Only injustice will prevail in the country. Therefore, even from the standpoint of the country as a whole, for a greater good, fighting the battle and destroying the Kauravas, destroying the Dhartarashtras, was very much a right step. Therefore, from Arjuna's standpoint, what is his dharma? It is to fight the war without turning back. So if he thinks clearly, without the clouds of shoka in his mind, without the dark clouds of sorrow in his mind, he would have understood, I should fight. Let me fight and do my duty. But since his intellect, his buddhi is overpowered by shoka, he has lost clarity. He has lost the proper knowledge of his own dharma, what he is supposed to do. Instead, he is taking paradharma, something which he is not supposed to do but someone else is supposed to do. He is taking it for his own dharma. And he is justifying. Sometimes out of our own weakness, we decide to do something wrong and we try to justify it in our own mind with our own reasons. That is what Arjuna is doing now. Arjuna is putting forward certain arguments in favor of his withdrawal from the battle. I don't want to fight. That is what he is trying to justify. And in the process of justification, he is giving some arguments. The arguments seem to be correct, superficial. They seem to be correct, seem to be logical, but they are not really so. There are many problems in Arjuna's arguments. That is why Krishna doesn't agree with him. Later on in chapter 2, he says, your ideas are not correct. And he corrects him. So now from this shloka 31, second half onwards, Arjuna's argument begins. Argument to justify his decision of withdrawal from the fight, withdrawal from the war. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate